He's just there under a prior owner. We just want the house back.
I actually paid up rent in advance. The whole 61 years.
Doesn't make any sense.
This is just some drug transaction.
And he was in prison.
Jack D. May revocable trust versus Taji Miller.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Ready on that, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Bowser, do we have witnesses?
Just Mr. May, but I don't think any of the facts are contested.
Okay, let's swear him under oath anyways, in case we do, I guess. What,
Yeah.
May, why don't you read? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Okay, just in case. So you're under oath in case we come back to a question. Mr. Bowser, go ahead and tell me what may not be in dispute, I guess.
Judge, his property is owned by a trust. Mr. May is the trustee. And this property was sold under a land contract to his son, Brian. Brian May then entered a contract with Mr. Miller, a lease agreement. Apparently Mr. Miller prepared, but it was a 61-year lease on a house for $1,000 a month gross. Mr. Brian May lost this house. He was not making the payments, gave a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and we now own the property. We've had no dealings. We entered into no agreement with Mr. May. He's there. He's subject to numerous felony charges, possession of a firearm, felon third time, but real important here, maintaining a drug house, and it's a bunch of drug charges he has, cocaine. And in any event, we have no relationship with him, never entered a contract with him. He's just there under a prior owner. We just want the house back.
Okay. And Mr. Miller, did you have a lease agreement with Brian May? Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, so why don't you raise your right hand just so we go this way too? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. And Brian, when did you enter into a lease agreement with Brian May?
I entered this lease agreement with Brian May on July 1st, 2024.
I'm sorry, what was it? July what?
July 1st, 2024, Your Honor.
Just this year, July 1st, 2024. Was there a written lease agreement of some sort?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a written agreement.
Looks like it's the one I got in the file, I guess. Mr. Bowser, have you seen it? Just so we know.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, Michigan Residential Lease Agreement. Okay.
Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt. If you look at number 32 on the lease at the sale of property.
At 32. Sale of property. Owner does not have right to terminate this agreement. I don't know that that's going to be binding. Who's Mr. Bowser, then on this July 1st date that I guess this residential agreement, who owned the trust on that date?
Mr. May did, Jack May. But the property was owned under a land contract to Brian May. Brian was buying it under a land contract at that point.
Oh, it was under a land contract.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Land contract. Do I have the land contract here too or not?
No, Judge, I don't believe so, but you should have a copy of the deed that Mr. May took the property back. And that deed was dated August 14th of 2024.
Where's that? Oh, looks like it was a quitclaim deed.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with it, let's go to the land contract first. So was that in writing? Was there a land contract? It had to be, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Do you have it?
No, Judge, I don't.
Is there, Mr. Let's do it this way then, maybe.
It was, yeah, it was, but we don't.
Mr. May, was there a land contract at one point between you and I guess your son, Brian?
There was, yes.
Under who did somebody draft the land contract for you?
I did.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of it someplace?
I don't, it's been 20 years. This was my son. It was something because we move all the time. I may be able to find it, but it would take a long time, to locate it.
Okay.
My son has lived there. He basically has never, this is a house that I wanted to furnish, hopefully my son has some alcohol and drug problems, but back that was before then, I was trying to get him enthused or to get him, and to furnish him a place to live. He's basically never paid to live there. I've been paying the taxes, everything. We basically, my son today, we have to basically support him. So we never did anything on the land contract because it didn't really matter until it's come up. So furnishing a place for my son to live is one thing, but furnishing a place for Mr. Miller is totally something different.
Under the land contract, then was it ever recorded?
No.
Okay, so it was just agreement between you guys on paper at that point.
We did it on paper because I don't think there's any requirement that it has to be recorded. We did do a memo. I did the deed transfer statement to the township at the time that we did the land contract.
Do you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just kind of thinking.
The transfer affidavit at the time that we did the land contract, that was filed at the township, but we have a copy of that.
Okay, was there any provision in the land contract that said that Brian May could not encumber that property until he actually owned it?
Yeah, it was standard language,
Yeah,
Judge,
it
and
was-
yes, in fact, and that was in 2006 when that contract was done, and it was the standard language in the contract that, right, he had no rights over and above, and Mr. May, Jack May and the trust had the right to mortgage the property or whatever, but Brian's interest was subject at all times to the prior ownership rights of the trust. And so, yes, there was a restriction in that regard, Judge.
Okay, is that true, Mr. May?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay. So back to you, Mr. Miller, how did you enter into this lease agreement with Brian May?
Your Honor, I entered the lease with my landlord, Brian May, and I actually paid up rent in advance. I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
When was the last time you paid rent?
I paid up rent on 7/8/2024. I actually have a receipt too. I have kids in the community. That's why I took so much interest in the property.
How much did you pay on July 8th then?
Your Honor, I paid Brian May $144,000 in cash.
But no cash?
Yes, I did. It's cash, Your Honor.
And you've got no receipt?
Yes, I do have receipt.
Judge, Mr. Brian May was involved in drugs.
Okay.
Mr. Miller is charged with being a drug dealer. We suspect this is all just.
Yeah, what?
Your Honor, Your Honor, I never received the notice to quit.
Why would you pay 140? I got a question though. 144,000 when your rent monthly payment's only 1,000.
I paid rent up in advance because I have kids in the community, and I took interest in the property because I have kids in the community.
That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just continue to make a $1,000 monthly payment?
That's what me and the landlord put together.
So where's your receipt?
My landlord has a copy.
Hold the receipt up for me.
There you go. His signature is actually on here.
Have you ever seen this receipt?
No, Your Honor. I mean, it's kind of absurd. The whole thing, the 61-year lease, who's gonna pay $144,000 in rent? I question whether Mr. Miller, how he had $144,000. He has an appointed attorney for all these criminal cases. This is just fairy tale stuff.
Okay, so I can't see the whole receipt though, it's the problem.
Here you go, Your Honor.
Slide it over for me from there. Actually, yeah, hold it up vertical like that for me. Maybe that we can do it that way. Let's just see.
I could actually bring it in to you, Your Honor.
Now, hold on. July 1st. Oh, go pull back a little bit. Pull back a little bit. There you go. July 1st, 2026. 2026. There's that 4. I don't understand what that says from. It's go down a little bit now so I can see the other side of it. Just go downward with your. There you go, just like that. Taji Miller. Where's Brian May's signature at the top there?
I'm not for sure.
Not for sure.
You see it?
Well, kinda. Why isn't his signature down below or anything? Why is it at the top of that thing?
I'm not for sure. That's
Sure.
where he signed it.
I got you. Where did the money come? Where did you pull the money out from? It's all cash.
Your Honor, I worked a lot of years. I actually been shot in my arm, so right now I'm waiting on disability. But up until 2023, I worked a lot of years. I saved up a lot of money.
And he was in prison.
And I still have some money saved. And to answer the attorney question, my lawyer is Michael Ewan, and there is no drug activity or illegal activities going on in this residence at all.
Let's see.
Judge, certainly Mr. Miller can sue Brian, May, if he thinks he's entitled to some money back. But I mean, that's just absurd. Brian May has no money. He's living in his dad's basement. He's homeless, basically, other than living with his dad. And really, this just defies any logical, rational beliefs.
61 years. Never heard anything like that in my life. Back garage included. So 61 years. So you were to pay. Where's my calculator here? 61 years.
Your Honor, I paid rent up in advance so I could focus on my kids in the community. I have 2 teenage boys that's in the community. They stay maybe 3 miles away.
Times 1,000. So the total you were going to pay over this whole thing was $732,000 for this place to rent.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a felon, so it's hard for me to get housing in some places.
For $732,000, buddy, it's a lot of money to put out for a house like this. That doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't make any sense?
$732,000 in rent for 61 years. How much was, let's see, you gave him 144,000, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
144.
Judge, it's about a $250,000 house.
Well, I haven't looked into the market of the house. I just took the opportunity because my kids live in the community and I wanted to be around for my kids. And I'm also a felon, so it's hard for me to get housing. That's why I took the opportunity.
Well, if you had that kind of money, you could find a lot of housing anywhere. I just went through a whole stack of ones anybody would allowed you to.
Well, for the property,
Yeah.
for that.
I don't think that it's not making any sense to me. 144 months. So divide by 12. So how long were you for that money you gave him? How long were you planning on staying there? What was that worth?
The 144,000 was for what is that, 10 years or 10 or 11 years? It just gave me advance to concentrate more on my children that's in the community.
Well, no, you got to tell me how many years you planned on being there for that 144,000.
I plan on being here for the whole 61 years. The 144,000 was just for 11 years or 12 years, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a one-time payment or anything. I still got payments.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think your actions against the person that we were renting to, Brian May, looks to me like the owner actually is the trust. Did Brian May ever tell you there was a trust?
No, Brian May didn't tell me it was a trust, Your Honor.
No. Did he ever tell you that he was that he claimed it back to that trust at any time?
He never told me that, Your Honor. I also never got a notice to quit or anything.
Yeah, and it sounds like you had 12 years of rental property, didn't you? According to what
I paid him 100, yes, in advance for sure.
So it looks like your actions against Brian, because he claimed it back over to the trust on August 14th. It looks like your action is going to be against Brian. So it looks like.
Well, we entered this agreement on July.
Yeah, it doesn't look, everything you're telling me doesn't seem legitimate. It doesn't look legitimate. The terms of the lease don't make sense. Paying cash of 144,000 makes credibility another big issue. Why didn't you just get a cashier's check or get something else? Why would you pay cash for something like that?
Yeah, and then again, I'm a felon. It's hard for me to get housing, and then plus,
Not a cashier's check. It's not.
That's just the way I went about it, Your Honor.
Yeah, boy, you kind of made a big mistake there, I think. Really. That's a big problem. Mr. Balzer, I'm sorry, I kind of took over for you. I'm kind of trying to figure out what was going on. Why, give me your argument why I should rule in your favor, I guess. Go ahead and give it to me.
Because we own the property, and nothing that this Mr. Miller is saying makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
And really, it's just beyond belief. A 61-year lease, all the terms of this lease are so goofy. No attorney in their right mind would ever go along with any of this stuff. And plus, Mr. Miller doesn't have, and I believe this is just some drug transaction where Mr. Brian May never had $144,000 in his life. Within a month after this, not even that, well, yeah, it's probably been 2 months after this transaction that he gave the deed back to his dad because he had no money, nowhere to live. And we own the property. We have no relationship with Mr. Miller. We ought to get an order to take possession of that property, Judge.
Your Honor, if I may, I'm going to ask Mr. Miller if the court will allow me, because I have at least advised Mr. Miller in this case. It's not a case I intended to represent, but if Mr. Miller will let me say something, I would like to try and. I have one concern in hearing this, and I don't disagree with Mr. Belzer that if the land contract prohibits Brian May, from encumbering the property, then they are right that they are the owner and he can't do that. I would just note that no one has presented that land contract to show that. And I'm sitting here with the Cameron's Real Property book that says unless there's an explicit clause prohibiting encumbering the property, that a vendee on a land contract has an absolute interest in the property to encumber it. So as just a candid, candor to the court, and having represented Mr. Miller at least on advice on this matter, I can't just sit here and just let this go this way without them at least showing that there was a land contract that said he can't encumber it. I get that the terms can be crazy. Commercial buildings enter into leases for 50 and 100 years. I can't speak to why Mr. Miller would enter such a lease, but if they can show that Mr. May didn't have a reason or ability to encumber it through that land contract, then I think their position is absolutely correct. But absent proving that, I think Mr. May is at least a necessary party to testify to say.
Well, that was going to be my next, Mr. Lowry, thank you. And that was going to be my next question. Mr. Miller, do you have any witnesses or anything?
Yes.
Well, where's your witnesses at today?
They here. I can call them.
Who?
Sharika Lewis.
Who's that?
That was a girlfriend of mine.
Oh, I'm talking about somebody involved in the contract.
Judge, if I could.
The
interject
contract.
something
The
here.
contract is a legal document. You want me to call Lindsay Markle?
But the concern I got is pretty much what Mr. Lowry's is suggesting, that if I go back in time here, there's an allegation that Brian May had a land contract, correct? Where I've got nothing that says anybody's got any land contract. Who was giving the land contract?
Judge, if I may. So first of all, you do have sworn testimony as to what the terms of that land contract were. Second of all, this defendant has no right to have free legal advice. If he can come up with $144,000 in cash, he should not be getting legal aid advice. Nor should he have the
I would
appointed
object to that,
attorney
Your Honor,
have
just on the
to
basis that Mr.
court.
Belzer doesn't know our priorities and our qualification criteria. So
Yeah.
But in any event, really, you have sworn testimonies to the terms of the contract.
Here's my concern though. If it all hinges on what right Brian May had, period, whether he owned the property, did not own the property, and it was my question that I asked about having some kind of encumbrance, some kind of paragraph that says you can't encumber the property if it's a land contract. Right now, I got nothing all the way around, period. I got nothing. So who owned the property before Brian May if that land contract is not there?
The trust that Jack May.
Well, actually, my corporation did initially, and then I assigned it from the corporation to myself.
Okay.
When I bought the property in 2004, built the house, and then sold it to Brian specifically because it was a father to son and to provide him housing. We've held title since 2004.
I'm sorry,
Either my corporation or my trust has had title to that property since 2004.
and then at 2004, what shows
In 2004, it was a vacant lot. I'm
Yeah.
a home builder, so we built a house. There was 2 lots there. We built the one, we sold the one house. The other one, it was to the point where I basically furnished someplace for my son to live.
Mhm.
And basically I was hoping my son had bad alcohol problems. I thought he would get out of that. He was actually, you could live and work with him when he was an alcoholic. Around 2017, it went from alcohol to drugs. I don't know if Mr. Miller has anything to do with that or not, but he got into the drugs and all of a sudden, but I've been basically paying the taxes on it for years. It's basically been my property. It was something that I did for my son to live in. I don't think that my son signed that receipt to, he can,
Your Honor, Brian, I don't mean to
say
interrupt.
anything or say anything.
Brian May been paying the taxes on the home for
Hold on,
years.
Taylor. Hold on. So
Furnishing, like I say, furnishing a house for my son to live in is one thing. Furnishing a house for Mr. Miller to live in is something else.
Yeah.
I don't do rentals. I have never done any. Even if you look at that lease, if you look at the first page, I don't even think it was for 2085 or whatever it was. It looks like they changed the number from a 4 to an 8. You know, my son does some really dumb stuff, but he would never even have done anything this crazy.
Well, I think there's just too many pieces for me to kind of speculate on right now, quite honestly, for everybody's sake.
I just want to ask, Your Honor, just if Mr. Belzer, so there was no writing done whatsoever in the terms of the land contract to Mr. May?
No,
Yes.
there was a written land contract.
Yeah, in 2006, there was a written land contract.
So all I would say is that land contract should be produced. I understand Mr. Belzer's position that there was testimony given to the land contract, but I would point to the best evidence rule. The best evidence of a land contract, if there's a written land contract, is the land contract. And
Right, and that's,
again, we'll concede that if that says that Mr. May could not encumber the property with a mortgage or a lease or anything like that, then I think plaintiff prevails undoubtedly without question. I just think the lease should be, or the land contract should be produced.
right, I agree, and I think honestly, and that's kind of, I'm kind of going around and around on this thing. It's just too much speculation for me just to kind of say, okay, you got this, when it all encompasses either a land contract or no land contract. I think we're going to adjourn it one way or the other, give both sides a chance to produce whatever evidence they got. All the way back, even in case there's a decision and just the register of deed action, wherever the original title on the property is, so we can kind of have a chain of title somewhere. And then this land contract, if you've got any kind of proof of that land contract, whatever it is,
Okay.
I think we can need some time to look at that. And same thing with you, Mr. Miller,
Yes, Your Honor.
and two. And then somebody, quite frankly, is Brian May, is there some reason he's not here today?
Well, I could have had him here today. I didn't see the need.
Yeah.
We'll have him here for the next time, Judge.
Okay.
And then again, Your Honor, they I never received a notice to quit. I believe that's.
Well, let's not get too far ahead of things. First, you're claiming this rental agreement sitting here. And you're claiming that you made $144,000 in cash towards it.
Your Honor, I will bring the receipt down to you.
Well, yeah, do that for me anyways, at least make
Yes.
it, and keep a copy for you as well, but Mr. Belzer's gonna want a copy of that too, okay?
Right. And
Okay.
Judge, I'd also like to get, and I can send some requests to Mr. Miller, where this $144,000 was at. I mean, I'm gonna hear that it was in a shoebox in his bedroom someplace, but
Your Honor, that's another story
prison.
for another day.
Your Honor, I would just point out for Mr. Miller's position, I don't know that there's any relevance to where that money comes from, whether he got it from winning the lottery or he got
Well,
it
yeah,
from
I-
collecting pennies in a jar, or I don't know that the relevance of where he came up with the funds to pay it is frankly relevant at all.
Right? It's
The
discrimination.
reason-
What's going on?
Hold on, guys, hold on. And Mr. Miller is correct, other than if it goes to any kind of credibility, I'll have to rule on it later on. Yeah, honestly, if,
And I'm not taking a position here nor there about what the validity of the receipt or if the money's, I just don't think where the money came from, whether, you know, if there's money and he claims that he has paid the money, I don't think it matters where that money came from, whether he was working at 7-Eleven or doing what.
may go to credibility, it may not. I'm not gonna make any just speculating decisions on any of it. So let's do this. Mr. Belzer, why don't we do this? Because this is gonna be more than just this. Why don't we open up discovery, allow discovery for a period of time? How much time do we need for anything at all? I mean, it should be short anyways. I mean, if there's nothing, we got
2
nothing.
weeks. Judge, I'm leaving the 26th and will not be back until October the 5th. So if we're gonna pick a date, I can't be here for those dates.
Okay.
Yeah. Your Honor, I'm ready to proceed. I don't know what's going on. All I know is
Mr. Miller, it's to your best interest if we adjourn it for a bit. Because if I make a decision today, I'm speculating on a whole lot of stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. So let's adjourn to, I'm sorry, if we do, I'm sorry, Mr. Belzer, when are you gone again?
The 26th of this month until October the 5th.
So what we got beyond those? We can either do next week, or we can do it October 8th is when, after you get back.
This was next week.
Next week will be fine.
Okay, so we'll set it on for next week, September 24th. And let's just set a different time, because I'm sure this is gonna be like, yeah, let's do 11 o'clock.
And Your Honor, at this time, we have not entered an appearance because we were not going to represent, but I am going to take this back to see if we can in fact enter a full appearance beyond advice. So if I do, I will make sure I get an appearance to the court and to Mr. Belzer.
Okay, cool.